Hi, welcome to a Vinyasa flow practice. My name is Kaylee. Today we're going to start in a supine tree pose. So you can lie down onto your mat and extend your left leg out toward the top of the mat. You can bring your right foot, the sole of the right foot, somewhere onto the inside of the left leg and let that right knee open out to the right side of your space. And take a moment to let yourself settle into a shape that feels good for you. Do whatever feels natural with your hands and your arms. It might feel good to bring a palm onto your torso somewhere and a palm onto your heart. You could also let the arms just rest by your side. And as you settle into this space, just gently bring some awareness to your breath. You might notice that just for the act of observing the breath without even trying, the inhales sometimes have this tendency to lengthen, deepen. The exhales maybe slow down a little bit. I'm going to take a few more rounds of breath here, just gently feeling yourself kind of move into the space with your inhales, moving toward the stretch, expanding toward yourself, expanding toward the moment. And then as you exhale, softening into something that feels really steady and stable inside your body. And stay here, or we'll add a side bend by reaching the arms up over your head. You can catch your left elbow or your left wrist with your right hand and just gently work your shoulders a bit over to the right, opening up the left side of your body. You stay there, or keeping your tree legs, you might kind of walk your left foot over toward the top right edge of your mat. You could even nod your chin to the right so that we're lengthening and opening the left side of the neck as well. Just being mindful that you're not forcing the stretch. We're meeting the body where it's at, always, always, always. Think about trees kind of as our muse for practice today. And the stronger the network of roots are for a tree, the more expansive, the deeper, the more potential for growth that organism has. And release the side bend, come back to the center, bring your right knee into your chest. You can hug it in gently or tight, maybe draw some circles with your right knee, checking with the right hip socket, and then T or cactus your left arm as you take a spinal twist, bringing that right knee over to the left side of your room or your space. You can keep the nose pointing straight up or nod your chin toward your right shoulder. Keep the neck long. And trees, plant life, in fact, has this really cool ability to heal itself. So there might be areas in a tree, right? Even like a limb that gets cut off, and the tree is able to send resources into those spaces to heal. This is a skill. So as we move through practice, if you notice parts of your body that maybe need a little extra TLC, see if you can give yourself permission to move in a way or not move in a way, to be still in a way that supports your own natural ability to heal. Go ahead and come back to the center. Hug the right knee into the chest, hug the left knee into the chest, and then just move around a little bit in any way that feels good in your lower back. I like to draw circles with the knees and massage out the sacrum. Might feel good to rock side to side. When you're ready, set up your tree on the other side. So that right leg is going to lengthen. The sole of the left foot comes somewhere on the inside of the right leg. And then let the arms and hands just rest easily, either on your body or by your sides. add our side stretch. Inhale, arms come up over your head, and then catch somewhere on the right wrist or elbow as you guide that right arm over to the left. Maybe you guide the right leg over to the left as well, and you could nod your chin to the left. You breathe in a way that helps you tune into the sensation of the stretch. Throughout practice, we're not trying to push away or push down anything that might arise, right? So thoughts are going to come, they're going to go. See if you can gently avoid engaging with any thoughts that aren't serving you here, or that maybe would be better explored after your practice, giving yourself this time. Release the side stretch and then bring the left knee into your chest. Same thing over here if it feels good to move that knee around in space a little bit before you take your spinal twist. Go for it. Eventually, you'll bring the left knee over to the right. Got a nice long kind of warm up in this practice, or nice long stretch, I should say. We're going to get going shortly after this. So take some maybe bigger inhales, starting to move the energy, move the prana deeper into your body. And then maybe you start to gently constrict the back of the throat so that you can control that exhale, slowing that energy's release, being deliberate about it. And back to the center, bring the knees into the chest. This time we're gonna rock forward and backward a couple times until you can rock your way into a bent-kneed seat. So you'll plant your feet down, bring your hands back behind you. We're gonna move into some abdominal work here. So we'll start with the right leg. Lift the right thigh into your chest. Lift your chest toward the right thigh. So hands are back behind you. And then you're gonna extend that right leg to a hover or a 45-degree angle as you lean back. Take a big breath in. The exhale, bring that right knee to your chest to your right knee. Inhale, stretch it long. This time, keep that right leg straight as you exhale, lift it up. Ooh, a lot harder. Inhale, hover. Exhale, knee pulls in. So we'll alternate. Inhale, go long. Exhale, straight leg lift. You can skip the straight leg if you want to. Inhale, lower. Exhale, knee pulls in. Couple more. Breathe in to lower. Breathe out to lift, either straight leg or bent knee. For 3, 2, and the next time that right knee is in, keep it in, keep the knee bent, and then set up a figure 4 stretch over here. So the sole of the right foot is going to point to the left. We'll wave with the foot there. Outer edge of your right ankle is on the top of the left hip or thigh. Walk your left foot closer to you. If you're setting up a reverse table, get firmly connected to that left foot and to your hands. Take a big breath in. Exhale, press the floor away, lift the hips. Feel that left glute, so the left side of your butt is helping lift you up. That right knee is still heavy in space. Nice deep breath in. We're gonna keep the hips hovering as you shoot your butt back behind you, straightening the left leg up, and then lower the hips down. Bring the sole of the right foot to the outside of the left leg. And then take your spinal twist over here. Right fingers can tap back behind you. Left elbow might catch the right knee. Find some length in your spine here, really rooting down through both of your sit bones. As you exhale, hug your belly button toward your lower back. Rotate from your navel center upward. Inhale, take your eyes forward. And then exhale, release. You can paddle out your legs a little bit, do what you need to do. And then we're going to switch sides, meeting back in that seated position with the knees bent. Bring the left knee into your chest. Engage your abdominals. If you can lift the thigh all the way to the left, all the way to the chest, and lift the chest all the way to the thigh. Then lower everything, stretch it out, big breath in. Exhale, knee to chest. You could keep doing that knee. Inhale, lower, or you exhale straight leg. Oof, breathe into lower. Exhale to squeeze. Maybe you alternate. Inhale. Exhale, we're here for 4. Meet with that knee bent in 3. Last 2. And 1. Keep that left knee in. Set up that figure 4 stretch over here. Walk your right foot a little closer to your body. Press into your hands. Big breath in to prepare. And then that single leg reverse table. Finding space in the front of the hips. If it feels great, you might drop the head back, or you can keep the chin tucked. One more long inhale, then we're going to shoot the butt back between the thumbs, straightening the right leg, lowering the hips down. Left foot lands outside of the right leg. Left fingers tuck back behind you, long in the spine here as you breathe in. And then hug the belly button toward the low back. Work into that twist as you breathe out. Keep finding space in your body. Inhale, reach the crown of the head toward the ceiling. And exhale, deepen your twist. Look forward on the in-breath. Cross your ankles, plant your hands. Let's go right into downward facing dog. Move around in any way that feels good in down dog. And pedal it out. Maybe give your head a little nod or a shake. But be extra mindful today of your foundation. So feel your hands pressing into the mat. Feel into the finger pads. You might even imagine that you're kind of clawing into the mat or bunching up the mat underneath the palms of your hands. And then same thing with your feet. Feel the connection between your feet and your mat. All right, from here, we're going to extend the right leg. Put a bend in your right knee and find some space in that right hip and thigh. I'm really big on moving around in circles. It just feels really good in my joints. It might be the case for you, might not. You can join me in some knee circles. Maybe switch the direction of those knee circles. And even though we're drawing a circle with the knee, what hopefully you're feeling is some mobilization, some activation in that right hip socket. Kick the right leg back as you breathe in. And then step both of your feet to the top of the mat, straight into your halfway stretch. Palms can press up against the shins. Long spine here. Hug your belly button in towards your lower back as you inhale. And then ragdoll, catch the crooks of the opposite elbows. Maybe you bend your knees and create a little bit more stretch and space in the lower back. And shift the weight just a little bit toward the balls of your feet, keeping your heels down, but just shifting the weight forward. Feel how that lifts the hips a bit higher. Release your hands and then slide your palms up the front sides of your legs as you slowly unroll. Soft knees, strong legs. Once your shoulders are over your hips, reach your arms up, right? Rooted through your feet, breathing in to grow up through the fingertips. And then exhale your hands to your heart. And let your eyes close or soften your drishti, your gaze, onto the tips of your fingers. Anything that you need to feel more rooted, to feel more resourced in your practice, even right, grabbing a glass of water, if that's something for you. Maybe it's committing to being more deliberate about your breath, or more deliberate about those points of contact between your body and the surface beneath you, right? That literal grounding foundation. Pull that into your heart here. Take a big breath in, breathing that into your body, filling every little cell, every little nook and cranny with that energy. And then open mouth, exhale, offering it up. On an inhale, blink your eyes open and reach up, big stretch. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at your hips, catch your calves, tuck your chin to your chest. In a halfway stretch, as you inhale, reach the crown of the head forward away from your sit bones, and then plant your hands, step back to the top of a push-up, pausing in a plank pose here. From plank, you can drop the knees or keep them lifted, but keep your chest and your arms strong and engaged. Keep pushing the hands down. Try to push them out of the way as you bend your elbows back, finding chaturanga, and then lowering all the way to your belly. Cobra roll-ups for 3. Tent the fingers by the sides of the ribs, press into the tops of the feet as you lift the head, the neck, the chest. Breathe in. And then roll it down nice and slowly as you breathe out. Tap your forehead to your mat. 2 more times. Inhale, press into the tops of the feet, lift up. Maybe the nose points forward or toward the ceiling. Exhale slowly like a wave, roll it back down. One more cobra roll up. Maybe you come up a little bit higher this time as you breathe in, glutes are active. And then downward facing dog, tuck your toes, maybe come through a tabletop and then press it back. From down dog, left leg lifts this time, put a bend in your left knee, find that space in the left hip, and then draw some circles with your left thigh bone in that left hip socket. So the hip socket is a bowl shape. You can imagine almost like you're stirring up a pot or a bowl of soup, switch the direction of those circles. So the thigh bone would be your spoon and the hip socket is that bowl. Pick the left leg back. Maybe that analogy makes no sense. Breathe in. Step both feet to the top of the mat as you empty. Halfway lift, breath in, lengthen out the spine. And then fold forward as you exhale. Unroll all the way up to standing like you're growing. Breathe in. And then bring your hands to your heart as you breathe out, because we're all always growing. Reach up, big breath in. Bow forward, long breath. Halfway stretch on the in-breath. Plant the hands, step back, high push-up, rock forward, lower all the way or halfway down. Just one cobra or upward dog. Breathe in, press the floor away with your feet. And then down dog, push the floor away with your hands. Stay here, set your eyes to one spot. Take a breath in. And a breath out through the nose or the mouth. Look forward, bend your knees, step, walk, or hop your feet to the top. One more sun salutation, a halfway stretch. Breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Rise all the way up. Inhale, like you could drink in the energy of the sun. And then hands to your heart as you exhale. Reach up, big breath in, engage your glutes. Maybe you take it back a little bit. And then hinge at the hips as you empty and fold forward. Halfway stretch, breath in. Plant the hands, step back, high push up to low push up. And the next place we'll meet is downward facing dog. So you can move through that vinyasa in whatever way feels best for your body today. Sometimes we need all of the chaturangas. Sometimes we need none, or maybe we want to throw a child's pose in between. From down dog, when you get there, reach the right leg high, breath in. We're going to step the right foot outside of the right pinky finger and find Skandasana or a side lunge. So Skandasana, if you want, or your body, it's pretty early in the practice, body might not feel great there just yet. You can take a side lunge. Either way, we're opening up, finding a stretch in the insides of the thighs. I actually feel like I connect a little bit better to that stretch here. And connect a little bit better to my foundation, to my feet. So if you're in a side lunge with me, pressing the feet down and energetically away from one another, like you're lengthening, trying to lengthen your mat underneath you. All right, we're gonna bring that left hand to the top of the mat under the left shoulder as you pivot your back heel up, find your dragonfly twist, right arm lifts. Reach the crown of the head away from your hips. And then gently pull your right hip crease back. You can even bring your right thumb to that right hip crease and try and bring that right side of your pelvis back in line with the left. Good. From here, we're going to pivot the toes toward the long right side of the yoga mat. Come onto the knife edges of your feet, pinky toe sides of your feet. Press into your left hand to lift. Reach that right arm toward the top of the mat. And then we're coming into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So left knee, back knee is going to slide forward underneath the right knee. And the right knee is on top of the left. I'm going to turn around just so that I'm facing you here. So right knee is on top, left knee is on bottom. The knees are stacked. They might not be stacked. You could be here. With the right knee on top, let's lift the left arm up. Bend the left elbow, reach up, catch the left elbow with the right hand, or you can catch behind your back, taking that bind. Nice tall spine here, root down through your sit bones, press the back of your head into your hands. So notice if you're hunching forward, see if you can lift the chest, lift the heart, tall spine, breathe in. And then bow forward, maybe you release that bind, feel into the outer edges of your hips and your thighs here. Just one more nice, long, full Ujjayi breath. Breathing in, breathe down into your lower back. And then slow exhale. Start to lift the head, lift the chest. We're gonna bring the left elbow back behind you as far as you can get it. And then start to untangle that right leg so that you're stacking the knees. You're in a setup for a forearm side plank with the knees stacked. Right hand comes to right hip, lift the hips up. Ooh, forearm side plank here. Option to stay here or to reach that top arm forward and reach the right leg back. Option to stay here, or kind of like we did earlier, elbow to knee, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale as you lengthen. Maybe you keep the legs straight and the arm straight as you exhale. Reach the hand toward the foot out in front of you. Inhale, go long. Exhale, squeeze it in. Couple more. You could just be in your forearm side plank, right? Breathing. Make your way back to that forearm side plank, right hands on right hip. And then you're gonna work your way to your hands and your knees. Tabletop position, little cow, big breath in as you open up across the collarbones, and then cat as you exhale, round your spine, tuck the tailbone. Take it back to a little mini cow, so not all the way into that full extension. And then downward facing dog, lift your hips. I got that on the left leg lifts, breathe in. And then step the left foot outside of the left pinky finger, either finding your Skandasana or choosing that side lunge variation. Take some breaths into where you feel the sensation of the stretch. See if you can use your breath as a resource. So that energy in the breath is moving through the body, feeding every little cell some fresh oxygen. And every little cell is going to use that oxygen for energy. Look toward the top of the mat. We're setting up our dragonfly. Right hand's going to come underneath your right shoulder. Spin your right heel up, lift your left arm. Start to rotate the toes toward the left so you're on the knife edges of your feet. Press into the mat. Reach that top arm long. Big breath in. And then slide your back knee underneath your front knee and go Mukasana. So now we've got left knee on top, right arm's gonna reach up. Bend your right elbow, catch the right elbow with the left hand, or corkscrew your left arm behind you, finding that bind. Again, root down through your sit bones, and a little bit of length in your spine, maybe even tucking the chin slightly to the chest and pressing the back of your head and neck into your arms. Chest is lifted, take a breath in, keep the bind for a moment as you hinge forward. Then go ahead and release that bind. Two long breaths, soft jaw. Maybe relax your ankles and your feet and your toes. On an inhale, lift the head, start to walk the hands back, finding a tall spine. Right elbow and forearm is gonna drop at the top of the mat. So lean as far forward as you can. Untangle that left leg. You can walk the knees a little further away from you. And then lift the hips, forearm side plank. And stay here, taking deep breaths as you imagine squeezing the top of the right hip toward the bottom of the right ribs. Or take the top arm forward, top leg back. Big breath in. Elbow to knee. If you want to add that dynamic movement, inhale, lengthen. Either keep doing elbow to knee or exhale, straight limbs connect. Inhale. Exhale. Ujjayi, breathe in. Breathe out. A breath in. Breath out. Meet back in that forearm side plank. Take a breath in. And then hands and knees at the top. Little cow stretch. Inhale, pull forward. Even shift the weight forward a little bit. Cat, tuck the tailbone. Hollow out your belly if you can. Pull your navel toward your low back. Come forward into a neutral spine. Toes are tucked. And then downward facing dog. All right, we're going to put together a flow. Hopefully everything feels nice and warmed up. Right leg's going to lift. Breathe in. Step your right foot between your thumbs. Keep your back knee lifted. It's strong and in your balance. You're on the ball of the left foot. And then crescent lunge. Reach your arms up. Set your eyes to one spot. We're not going to hold for a ton of time in these shapes today. But see if right away you can make contact with your foundation. It's stable and supported from the ground up, really focusing on that root system and then working on some expansion. Bend your elbows. We're going to keep the hips over that left knee as you hover the left knee. And a little bit of a back bend here. Left knee is just like a quarter inch up off of the mat. Big breath in. Stay here as you breathe out. Come up back to crescent lunge in here. Lightning crescent. Reach your fingertips back toward the back of the room. Hug the inner thighs together. So right sit bone presses back, and then the inner left thigh is pulling forward as you squeeze the outer edges of the hips toward one another to create even more stability. Pivot the back heel down, reverse triangle. You're going to straighten out that front leg. Maybe you can lift the ball of the right foot, up to you. Open up through both sides of your body. So notice if you're crimping into the left, really open up both sides of the ribs. Lift as you breathe in. Warrior two to the back of your mat. Set your eyes over toward your left thumb. See if that makes your neck feel a little happier. And then maybe you drop a little deeper into that lunge. Left knee is working its way toward the second or third toe. Reverse your warrior here. Big inhale. We're going to find horse. Bring your hands to your heart. So pivot the heels in, toes out. Feet are kind of diagonal to the edges of your yoga mat. So your toes are pointing toward the corners. All right. We're going to cat your back here. Catch one wrist. Press the hands away, tuck the tailbone, think cat back, big breath in, try and breathe into the back of your ribs. Cactus your arms back into horse as you exhale, think cow, lift your chin. Switch which wrists you catch. Inhale, cat your back. Exhale, cow, cactus arms here. Star pose, big breath in as you reach up. And then Prasarita, pivot the toes toward the long edge of your mat. Drop your head down. Take a moment here, maybe shake out any tension in the jaw if you're clenching your teeth. When I'm not cueing and I'm just practicing, my jaw gets real tight. So if you need to, you can even part your lips a little bit. Keep breathing through your nose, but parting the lips usually relaxes the jaw. Look toward the top of your mat. Pivot your toes toward the top of your mat. Take a breath in so that back heel's lifted, and then high push-up to low push-up. Take it through your vinyasa, or skip your vinyasa, or take child's pose instead. We'll meet up in downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step your left foot between your thumbs. Find your balance, crescent lunge. Set the eyes to one spot. Maybe you take a little mini bend in that back knee so that you can find your right glutes. We're not hovering it just yet. Big inhale here. Cactus your elbows. Hover that right knee like a quarter of an inch up off the mat. Maybe you find the mat with your knee and then just back off a tiny bit. So we're in that engagement. Crescent lunge is an inhale. And then lightning crescent, tip forward, hug the abdominals inward and upward. From lightning crescent, reverse warrior, or reverse triangle rather, excuse me, straightening out that front leg. You could keep the knee bent, it's just a little bit more work for the left quads. Opening up through side body. Remember, you're still keeping some length and space in that right side waist, even though the stretch is maybe easier to feel in the left. Breathe in. Warrior two to the back of your mat. Find your feet. Feel free to adjust them so we're not super glued to where they first landed. Make some adjustments if you need so that you can firmly root down into your feet. And check in with that lunge. Maybe you take it a little bit deeper. Reverse warrior, breathe in. And then horse, as you breathe out, back away from the wall a little bit. Pat your back, catch a wrist. Inhale, tug the tailbone, hug the abdominals in. Cow your spine as you exhale, cactus arms, tilt the tailbone back, lift the chest. Switch your wrists, inhale, cat back in horse. Exhale, cow, spine in horse. Star pose, breathe in. Prasarita, bow forward. This time, keep your heels down, but play around with shifting your weight into the balls of your feet. And then maybe you lift your heels up. Find that little extra stretch there. You can rock onto the balls of the feet a couple times, opening up the front of the ankles, finding a little bit extra balance challenge. And then we're gonna drop the heels, pivot the toes to the front, take a breath in to prepare. And then vinyasa, your own version of this flow. Breathing in, meeting in down dog, exhaling. All right, look toward the top of the mat. Bend your knees, empty your breath completely. Step walk or hop between your thumbs. Halfway stretch here, breathe in. Fold forward and breathe out. Take it all the way up on the in-breath. And then lightning chair as you exhale, sweep your arms back. Chair pose, bring your arms forward, root down into your right foot, keep the right knee bent, and then tap the left toes in front of you. So you're in like a single leg chair, very little weight, if any, in the left toes. You could even hover. Come back to lightning chair, sweep the arms back. Chair pose, breathe in, shift the weight to the left, but maybe you lift the right heel, and then tap the right toes, fully straightening that right leg if you can. Big breath in. Lightning chair as you breathe out. Inhale, let's do that again. Exhale, tap. Inhale. Exhale, lightning chair. Inhale, reach forward and tap. Exhale, lightning chair. One more on each side. Breathe in, tap the toes. Exhale, lightning chair. Right foot taps, inhale. Lightning chair, exhale, sit real low, lift your heels for 5. Squeeze the ankles together for 4. Hug inner thighs together for 3. Take it a little lower for 2. We're gonna stand all the way up. Big breath in. Maybe you stay on the toes, maybe you drop the heels. And fold forward, let that go. Halfway stretch, big inhale. Plant the hands, step or hop back to low push-up. Meeting in downward facing dog. Adding up dog or cobra. All right, right leg lift. We're gonna put it together, breathe in. Step forward as you breathe out. High crescent lunge, inhale. Bend the elbows, cover the back knee as you exhale, lift the chest. High crescent, breathe in. Lightning crescent, breathe out. Reverse triangle on the inhale. You're a 2 to the back of the mat, exhale. Reverse warrior, keep the knee bent, breathe in. Horse, hands to heart, set it up as you exhale. Catch a wrist, cat your back, inhale. Cow spine, cactus arms, tilt the tail, exhale. Pat your back, catch the other wrist, breathe in. Cow, cactus arms, breathe out. Star pose, press the floor away with your feet, breath in. Prasarita, bow forward as you empty. We're gonna add on, look forward, pivot the toes to the top of the mat. And then we're gonna find a Shiva squat. Bring your left knee to your right calf. Stay here, maybe you bring your hands to your heart center. Right, bring the left hand onto the left ankle or foot or knee, and then guide that leg into tree pose. So use your left hand to place your left foot either above or below the right knee. And then notice, usually in tree, the hips want to do this. Push that right foot into the ground, lift the right inner thigh up, and then press the hips so that they're level. Let that left knee press open to the left. The hands can be at your heart. Kind of like we did in our chair pose. You're going to keep that right leg straight though this time. Inhale your arms up, bring the left foot forward. You can bend your right knee if you'd like. Take a breath in. We're gonna straighten the right leg if it's not, and then open your arms out to the side as you externally lift that left knee to the side. It's called floating tree.
Bring it back to that frontward facing version. Inhale, tap the left toes, reach up, maybe the right knee bends. Exhale, floating tree. 2 more times, breathe in. Breathe out. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Take a breath in. This time, we're finding airplane. Lever that left leg back. Find your balance here. Same little energetic lift of the inner right thigh. And then press that right hip crease back. Fly a little higher, take a big breath. Plant the hands, drop the ball of the left foot to the back of the mat. We're gonna set up a side plank variation option to bring that right foot onto the left leg for tree in your side plank. Another option here is to drop the left knee down. If you lose your balance a little bit, trust that that's part of the growth process. Keep yourself safe and supported, but be willing to experiment a little bit, to try on a challenge. Big breath in. Maybe you keep that tree leg. Find a high push-up as you exhale. Hold that high plank. Big breath in. Straight to downward facing dog or three-legged, rather lift the right leg up. Inhale. Step your right foot outside of the right pinky finger, and then drop the left knee down, finding a lizard lunge variation. Just a couple big breaths here. From your lizard lunge, walk your right foot between your thumbs, and then straighten that right leg out for Hanumanasana. Remember that you can absolutely keep the right knee bent a little bit or a lot. We're always meeting the body where it's at. We're always offering parts of the body that need a little extra TLC or gentleness or patience. Exactly what they need. Right? Growth happens when we work from the place that we are. There's no steps that we get to skip along that journey. When you're ready, look forward. You're going to rebend the front knee, tuck the back toes under. High crescent lunge, a little different. Breathe in. Prayer twist this time. Left elbow outside of your right one. Bring your prayer hands to your sternum so the thumbs are pressing up against that breastbone, and then really hug that left thigh up toward the ceiling. So lift the back of the knee like you mean it. The ball of the left foot still down. One more long breath in. Hang out, you've got it. Breath out. Plant your hands, step back, high to low push-up or straight to downward facing dog. Inhale, choosing cobra or up dog if that's for you. And then we meet in downward facing dog. Ooh, we've got that on the left. Let's take a breath in to clear it out. Open your mouth, let something go, make some space. Left leg lift, breathe in. Step forward as you empty, high crescent, inhale. Bend your knee, bend your elbows, exhale, open the chest. Keep the heart lifted, high crescent, breathe in. Lightning crescent, tip forward with a strong core as you breathe out. Reverse triangle, inhale, peel open. Warrior two to the back of the mat as you exhale. Reverse your warrior, big breath in. Horse as you empty, cat back on the inhale, catch a wrist, tuck the tail. Cow spine as you exhale, bend your elbows, cactus arms. Switch wrists, big inhale. Cactus arms, exhale. Star, breath in, push the floor away. Fold forward as you empty. Look toward the top of the mat, take a breath in. Sweep the hands to the top, pivot the toes, Shiva squat, right knee, left calf. Notice if you're folding forward a bunch here, see if you can find a lift of the ribs so that the rib cage is in line with the pelvis. You can absolutely hold on to something to support that. We're going to use the right hand somewhere on the right leg. Guide that foot as you straighten the left leg, finding your tree pose. Left foot is rooting down through all four corners. And then we're lifting up through the left inner thigh so that the hips aren't jutting over to the left. Right knee, encourage it open to the right. And set the eyes to one spot, using that drishti to practice our focus, to practice our ability to concentrate, to hone the power and the energy of our attention onto one thing at a time. Totally fine if that doesn't quite happen for you today. It's worth it to work on that skill. The arms are going to reach up on the inhale, and then you tap the right toes out in front of you. Maybe you bend that left knee. We've got our floating tree. Exhale, straighten that left leg, bend the right knee to the right elbow. Inhale, tap the toes. Exhale, floating tree. Good, breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. This time, lever that right leg back, airplane pose. Hold it here. Imagine that someone's passing the outer edges of the hips toward one another. You can even bring your hands onto the sides of the pelvis. Kind of find that alignment, turning that right hip down, and then pushing inward to create a little bit more sense of stability. Big breath in. Plant the hands, drop the ball of the back foot. We've got side plank facing the left. Keep the right hand down. Maybe you guide that left foot somewhere on to that right leg for tree side plank. Not gonna lie, today it's a little bit of a struggle over here. We're gonna take it into a high push-up with or without that tree leg. Big breath in. 3-legged dog, exhale, release. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through, high crescent lunge. Big breath here. Prayer twist to the left. 3 deep breaths. Every inhale, create a little bit of awareness of your spine, find space. And then on the exhales, hug your belly button toward your low back to deepen that twist. 2 more breaths here. Breathing in, right heel's pointing straight up. Stay for the breath out. Last time, big breath in. Plant your hands, step back, high to low plank. Oh, Urdhva. Inhale, that's your up dog. Open the chest, lift the chin. Downward facing dog as you exhale, press your hips back. 1 big cleansing breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, let it go. Right away, look forward, lift the heels. Step or hop between your thumbs. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Fold forward and empty. Rise all the way up on the in-breath. Lightning chair as you exhale. Stay here or lift your heels. Breathe in. Sit a little lower as you breathe out. Maybe you keep the heels lifted. Chair pose, inhale. Lightning chair, exhale. Pump the breath. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you sit lower. Again, breathe in. Last lightning chair as you breathe out. Stand all the way up with the next inhale. Active legs. Bow forward as you empty. Halfway stretch. Breathe in. Step, walk, or jump to chaturanga. The next place we will meet is downward facing dog. We're going to move once more through that flow. Right leg lifts. Big in-breath. Step forward as you exhale. High crescent. Breathe in. Bend your elbows, bend the back knee as you exhale, lift the heart. Keep the heart lifted, high crescent on the in-breath. Lightning crescent on the out. Reverse triangle, you got it, breathe in. Warrior 2 to the back, breath out. Reverse warrior, inhale. Horse pose, exhale, cat your back, take a breath in. Cow your spine, bend your elbows, exhale. Cat your back, inhale. Cow spine, exhale, star, burst open, breathe in. Prasarita, big breath out. Pivot to the top, Shiva squat, bring that left knee into your right calf. And then left hand catches somewhere on that leg, take it up into your tree pose. Reach your arms up, big breath in. Floating tree as you exhale. Reach your arms up, point the left toes forward, maybe you bend the right knee, breathe in. Floating tree, breathe out. 2 more floating trees. Inhale. Exhale, there's 1. Breathe in. Exhale, that's 2. Inhale, kick the leg forward, reach the arms up. Exhale, airplane, lever your leg back. Stay here, flying high on the in-breath. Plant the hands, this time wild thing. So you're gonna pivot to the outer edge of your left foot, bring the right toes back behind you, press the floor away, lift your chest, maybe bring one hand to your heart, right hand to your heart, breathe in. Vinyasa, we will meet in a downward facing dog. Almost there. Really tap into your Ujjayi, your victorious breath. Left leg lifts out and in. Step forward as you exhale, high crescent, breathe in. Bend your elbows, bend your knee, breathe out. High crescent, inhale. Lightning crescent, exhale. Reverse triangle, pull back and stretch. Warrior two to the back of the mat. Reverse warrior, inhale. Horse pose, hands to your heart, exhale. Cat back, big breath in. Cow spine, as you exhale, tilt the tail. Cat, inhale. Cow, exhale, star, really burst open, breathe in. Fold forward just for the breath out. Pivot the toes to the front on the in-breath. Shiva squat, right knee, left tap. Right hand catches the right foot or leg, guide it into tree. Reach your arms up, breathe in. Floating tree, breathe out. Arms up, right leg forward, maybe the left knee bends. Exhale, floating tree. Inhale. Two more floating trees, exhale. Breathe in. Last floating tree, breathe out. Inhale, leg forward, arms up, exhale, airplane. Fly it back this time. Take a deep breath in, lift high. Plant the hands, wild thing, left toes back behind you. This is a back bend and a heart opener. Left hand could find your heart space. Breathe in. High push up and pause. Right to your high plank. Press the floor away here. And then lower your right elbow to your mat. Lower your left elbow to your mat. You are in a forearm plank. And stay here. Keep hugging your belly button toward your lower back. Keep pushing the elbows down. Swivel your heels to the left. Swivel your heels to the center and then to the right. Side to side, little pause in the middle. Little pause in the middle. Use your obliques, the sides of your waist, to lift through the center. We're here for 10. Yes, you can. 9. Big inhales and exhales. 7. 6. Try and keep your shoulders over your elbows. 5. 4. Keep hugging in through all sides of your core. 3. 2. Forearm plank to high push up. Take a breath in. Drop your knees and then walk your hips back to your heels, either seated meditation or child's pose. Let your eyes soften or close. If you're in child's pose, let your body melt into the mat. If you're in a seated meditation, bring your hands to your lap. Place your right palm inside of your left palm, palms face up. And then move the palms like away from one another a little bit so that you're more resting your fingers underneath your knuckles and connect the tips of your thumbs. So you're creating like a little, very shallow little bowl with the hands. So you're in a seated meditation. Sense where your spine is in space. I'm real curious about those biomechanical patterns that we have, also known as your default posture. Without yanking anything, see if you can create a posture that just feels a little bit more bright. So maybe you reach the crown of the head up, press the back of the head back, almost like you're leaning back against a wall. You may feel some of the core musculature turn on to support you here. Strong spine, and then this open space across your chest. And keep that meditation mudra or bring your hands to your heart, one palm right against your breastbone and then the other hand on top of the back of that first hand that made contact with your chest. In child's pose, meet us in this seated meditation position, back on your shins. Bring your hands to your hips, blink your eyes open, press into your shins and then stand up onto your shins. So you're in a kneeling pose. And then bring the knees hips distance apart. Feet are hips distance, knees are hips distance. Notice what's going on in your pelvis. Find a neutral pelvis. So that might feel like you're tucking your tailbone if you have a little bit of a pelvic tilt naturally. But see if you can find that alignment where your ribs are right over your hips here. Reach your arms up, big breath in, like you could gather up some energy from the sun. And then bend your elbows as you exhale, squeeze the glutes gently, lift your chest. So it's a variation of our camel pose. Take a big breath in, bring your hands to your heart, press the hips forward, lean back a little bit. And then hands to your hips as you exhale, guide your hips to your heels. Let's do that again. Rise up onto your shins, arms up on the in-breath. Elbows bend on the exhale, engage your legs, including your glutes, lift your chin. Hands to your heart, breathe and lean back a little bit more. Hands to your hips as you exhale, sink your hips to your heels. Once more like that. Inhale, rise and reach. Exhale, cactus your arms and squeeze. Hands to your heart, breathe and hips are forward, head is dropping back. And then hips to your heels as you exhale. Great work. One camel pose of your choosing. So you might come up onto your knees and bring your hands to your lower back. You might come up onto your knees and bring your hands to your heels. You could tuck your toes so that your heels come up just a little bit closer to you. Keep engaging the glutes, pressing the hips forward and lifting the chest up. If it feels great to drop your head back and open your throat, by all means go for it. My body doesn't appreciate that a ton. So for today, I'm just going to find a little bit less of that extension in my neck. Breathe right into the center of your chest. And you breathe toward that stretch. Breathe toward that sense of opening, expanding as you move toward it. 2 more deep breaths. Lift up on the in-breath. And then exhale, hands to your heart, hips to your heels. Let your eyes close. Relax your arms onto your thighs, palms face up. Notice the sensation, the rebound sensation in your body from the tips of the fingers and the hands, up through the forearms and the elbows. Continuing to scan your way up your arms. Keep scanning inward until you get right around your heart space. Noticing what you feel there. Noticing anything that arises there. And then blink the eyes open, shift your hips to either side. We're going to finish in Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So the soles of the feet come together. And bring your hands onto your ankles. Maybe you walk the heels a little closer, or I like to shimmy my hips a little closer to my heels. And lift the heart, take a breath in, and shift your chest forward. And then press the elbows into the thighs as you round your spine, let the head drop. All of that heart opening, all of that kind of deliberately making our heart space a little bit vulnerable. We want to balance with allowing ourselves to turn that energy back inward, repair and rebuild, and reset. Maybe filling up any of those energetic cylinders that we drained in our practice. And the attention that we're able to offer ourselves, everything has energy, right? So as you feel a little depleted, maybe you've been pouring a lot of energy outward, had a season of growth or been blooming, whether that's by choice or by necessity. When you have a chance, we want to allow ourselves to turn back inward and to renew our root system from the inside out. So there's these cycles of growth. And sometimes that growth is really visible. It's an external growth. And other times, just as importantly, that growth is invisible. No one can necessarily see it because it's taking place inside of you. And when you are ready, lift your head, your neck, your chin. Ooh, sitting up. Use your hands to guide your knees together. And straighten out the legs, shake them out. Welcome to roll into Shavasana. And turn off the video from here. Or if you're ready to close your practice, you can meet me in a seat and we'll close together with one more big cleansing breath. Drop your arms to your side and then circle your arms out to the side. Big breath in, again, as if you could gather up some energy from the sun. Inhale, 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 lengthen through the fingers. And then bring that goodness right back into your heart as you exhale. Great to have you with me. Take good care of yourself. Thank you for taking care of yourself for the last hour. I hope to see you again real soon.